What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom. We're the real reality order.
Period.
I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're talking about one of Pharaoh's Lee. Lee, how you felt about the episode? Quick.
It was cute or whatever.
Period. I agree. It was definitely cute or whatever.
These challenge episodes, it
They
challenge
just
is
start
really
running
cute in
together,
the beginning. It starts to drag in the middle, and then
and
towards
then we
the
get to the
end of
final.
at
Amen.
this point we're just waiting for the final.
Literally, they're already talking about it. They're like, "We're getting close to the final. We're gonna hear that the next 3 episodes until they're at the final." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
I guess you're close." Boom. So we start off, and who had just won? Somebody just beat somebody else.
Chris just beat.
Sebastian, weak ass. So Chris just won. They come back, and there's actually a conversation with the Survivor girlies and Chris about how all last week he was throwing them bitches under the bus. They're not bitches, them women, lovely ladies, under the bus. And they were pressing him. They were like, I mean, he was throwing us under the bus. So are we gonna revive this and are you gonna get your shit together, sir? Yes or no? And Chris is basically like, yeah, I guess. Chris, Chris's personality, not his personality, but his demeanor, the way he is, honestly, that shit annoys me. Like, he's sitting there and they're like, you're not going to do that, are you? And he's like, I mean, I wasn't going to do that anyways. And it's like, you literally just did. You literally just went against them. And he's trying to like act all weird about it. I don't know. He's weird.
He
But
reminds me
anyway,
of Ben, a little bit less annoying Ben,
I agree. And a finer Ben.
a finer Ben for sure.
Um, Next, Josh and West talk. Lee, how do you feel about Josh?
I mean, I feel a lot of ways.
To me, this was two queens talking. I view Josh and Wes both as drama queens, because they are. So when they started talking, I was like, this is gonna give dramatic for no reason. It is. And guess what? It gave dramatic for no reason. So they were initially just talking about how Josh is like, I really need to make a final this time because I lose every time because I suck at this game. And Wes is like, yeah, you really do. And they both had diary rooms. And it's Josh diary room. He's like, you know, I just have such a deep friendship with Wes, and me and Wes are like brothers, but I think I might have to get him out because he could beat me in a final. Thoughts? Thoughts?
like specifically about what part? Like,
I don't know. I have thoughts. I'll tell you my thoughts. Josh, everyone's beating you in the final.
Yeah.
1, 2. We see very quickly, literally, immediately, that Wes doesn't feel the same. Because Wes has a diary room and he says, you know, Josh wants to be a real challenger so bad. He's talking about making the finals so bad. But honestly, it's just like, Pinocchio wanting to be a real boy. You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep. And honestly, Josh, it's never going to give that you're a threat to me. It's never going to give beef to me. You can have fun. And Wes is a bitch. He is. But honestly, he's also a little bit telling the truth. Like, I don't know if Josh wants it to be this iconic dynamic. I got him out, but I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like because like who are the guys left? Well, maybe we did have the pictures up.
Chris,
So I'm
Bananas,
thinking about the
Bessie, Corey, Josh, Wes, and one more person.
like I think what it is like now that I'm like really thinking about who's left. It also gave like Wes is someone that I can get out successfully because I'm not like he's not as ingratiated around the house. Like the vets, the rookies really don't like Wes, but they're actively some of them working with Josh, working with Fessy, working with Corey, and Bananas is protected by like this whole vet thing. I feel like Wes is like the least protected vet there, and he's also the least protected person that can beat him because everyone there can beat him. But I don't see him targeting Bananas, Corey, Fessy. Because he's like outside of the game, friends with them. I think Wes is like we're
But it's like
cool in
everyone
the
can beat
game.
him, so it's like I don't see the point. That's my thing, kind of.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I just feel like this is like the storyline of it is just weird because we're at a point in the game where it's like, I mean, it's too late. Like the only other few people who can go home is like I guess Tyler could get cut before a final, but it's like regardless if Josh wants to be in the final, he's going to be in the final with people that can beat him. Is what I'm saying. So it's
Exactly.
like the entire storyline is just random. That's why I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm like, well, maybe he's like, oh, I can successfully make this move on West because I'm not. it's very clear that he's not closely, he's not as close as he is the other challenge vets. Like I feel like with Banana, especially Corey.
But my thing is, if that's the case, what's the point of all the hoopla? Oh my God, this is like my brother, and I'm doing such a big move.
Yeah, I don't really understand the emotion that came behind it. It was giving random. I'm like, you know him?
Like what? The fuck? And then from Wes's point of view, you don't know him. So that's why I'm like confused. Wes is basically like, I don't know this man. I don't know who this man is. So for me, I just didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And I don't get a lot of things Josh does. I think I would like Josh if I knew Josh. I think if I was friends with Josh outside of a game, I think I would like him. He seems like someone who's very loyal, really cool with his friends. Great. But in this, watching him, it's just, honestly, it's just annoying. Like,
I just hate that it's not reciprocal for him. Like, I just like, this is like every single time, like he got an emotional decision. It's because of a situation with the challenge vets. And it's like, the challenge vets, do they give a fuck about you like that? Like,
to where you're crying? Why is he crying, girl? So we get to the challenge. The challenge
like you never made a final. You should not be crying that you are taking out Wes.
He never gave a fuck about you. And then what? Girl, we'll get to it later. So boom, they get to the challenge. It's called go to the distance. You got to jump off a platform and grab onto a pole. And then if you grab on, you make it to the next round. Y'all got to grab onto a pole that's farther. If you catch it, you make it to the next round, farther and farther and farther. The person who grabs the last pole or the last person to not fall wins, or to not grab, whatever. Winner. Boom. So the ladies go first, and they all go. And honestly, this challenge was just like not whelming. It was underwhelming. But basically, round one, fight. Round one, Michelle, Chanel, and Alyssa, they get out. Round two, Cassidy gets out. So it's just Tori, Michaela, and Desi. Round three, Tori gets out. And then this round, Michaela was like shaking, crying, because Michaela is afraid of heights, very much so. So the whole time she's like struggling to do it. But on round three, when it was just her, Desi, and Tori, she was literally like shaking, crying. She didn't go.
It was a panic attack.
It was a panic attack, and it took her a long time. TJ's like, Michaela, you gotta go, babe.
All right, like let her live. Like, damn, she's stressing out right now.
But yeah, so she took a while, but she ended up actually going, and Michaela ended up winning the whole fucking challenge with having fucking a fear of heights and literally shaking and screaming the whole time. So it's like, honestly, she's clearly that girl. She's clearly very iconic, because they have this, strong girls alliance, but really the only strength I've seen is Michaela, Tori, and Desi. So I was just shading one person accidentally. But yeah, I've seen.
Really, you can keep. I mean, I don't even think that's shade on Chanel, because I feel like the real strong women's alliance is Chanel, Michaela, and Desi. And it's like, even if she hasn't proved herself, I'm sorry, Chanel, it still eats. Like, mother is protected by her sisters down. It gives me like that. It really gives me Desi and Michaela, like the older sisters, and like Chanel's with us. Yes,
right.
She's good. I don't care.
She's good.
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Chanel's gonna have her moment. Like, I don't know, because she talks big shit.
Yeah, so, and I think that's the duality of all. She has a lot of and making faces, and it's like, girl, not you making faces. You ain't winning. You haven't won.
I think she can do that. What's the problem?
When I see it.
Okay.
Boom. The boys go. Fuck this challenge. The boys go. Fessy wins. Amen. Boom. They go back to the villa. So Fessy and Michaela.
About Fessy, like competing in challenges, really just gets me going. No, I'll just say that.
Yeah, don't say too much.
Right.
Boom. They go back to the villa, and Chanel, Desi, and Michaela have a discussion. And Michaela just won, and her discussion is basically
the big three.
The big three.
The big three. I love them. I'm sorry. Y'all, you can never make me hate them. I can't. They're eating. I mean, especially because, like, watching the challenge, like, I'm sorry, like, we know black women really dominated the show. Like,
now, is the here and the now.
Black people in general, really, there's not really a lot of, like, greats.
Bailey Dayton.
Challenge history. Period. That's the gag. Like the black women they have gotten, they really be eating Cam when Davon was here. Like, they just don't want to be consistent. Like, keep coming back, girls. Damn. Johnny. But yeah, I love that.
No, she's not gonna be in the trailer.
I love that the three of them are so respected to a point of like, we're not touching them. Like, because I just like also too, like a lot of black women, they come in, they get seen as layups, like Jasmine was. What's that one girl who she hosts the iHeartRadio podcast? Devin. You know, a lot of them get seen as like, oh, we could just drag me again. You know,
I love Devin. So
Davon was seen as that after like on her first season. It's like, I mean, it's not really. We don't gotta really worry about them. And it's like, no, we're gonna respect these three, the big three.
Period. You know, Anissa's seen as a layup.
Well, I think no, because she was actually seen as a beast in her earlier days.
But she's actually a layup.
Now she's just grandfathered in.
Yeah. Back at the villa. Oh, the girls are talking, and basically, Michaela's like, I mean, I don't know if we have a real reason to put in Alyssa or Cassidy. And then
Michaela wants Tori Nick bad.
Tori in bad. And Desi Chanel were like, well, I mean, if we do that, then the house is probably going to vote one of us in because they're going to want someone big to go against Tori. So they might want.
Which makes sense, though. You don't nominate Tori and send in Alyssa. That would be stupid.
That would be dumb.
You don't nominate Tori and send in Cassidy. You nominate Tori and send in one of the big three.
And send in Desi. Go ahead, take out Desi, Tori.
It would definitely be Desi. So that's, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. That's why Desi was like, baby, because that would be.
Yeah, she had a diary room. Desi was like, Michaela is really showing that she's going to be selfish a little bit in this game. And
it's like, I think it's because, like, Desi's trying to ask, girl, my ass is going in.
Mm-hmm. You're willing to risk my ass. Girl, I think the fuck not. So, boom, nominations happen. Fessy and Michaela speak. And Fessy's basically like, look, I don't want to do Corey.
No, Michaela starts off, I just like lying in his face, though. Because she walks in, she has a confessional. She's like, I just want to get a feel for what Fessy like thinks, because if she can understand what he's thinking now, she can basically like understand all of his moves going forward. Like she probably would predict them. And so she sits down and she's like, I mean, this is the furthest I've made in any of these games. So I'm just curious as to what the thought process is at this time. And it's just like, I just know that with a bold face a lot to get information from this. Because she made pretty far in Game Changers. I would maybe not relative, I guess. I'm trying to think a comparison to this season with the amount of people. Maybe that would be further. But either way, it's like, girl, you understand what the fuck is going on. You're not a dummy. And Fessy started explaining his whole game. Well, I trust this person. I like, okay.
He was like, I don't want to say Corey and I don't want to say Josh, and I've been riding with Tyler. And looking at the board, that leaves not too many people. So he was like, look, I just want to do Chris. You know, I've already said Chris's name. So Chris.
And what's interesting, Fessy was like, I mean, I'm not protecting Alyssa this time. So if you want to say Alyssa's name, that's fine.
Yep.
Like, oh, okay.
Yep. Because for the girls, he was like, I mean, I think the options are Tori, Cassidy, and Alyssa, and I'm not protecting her. So hey, you do what you need to do. And basically, he's not protecting her because Alyssa got out first in the comp, and she continues to get out first in the comp.
So she's like, what is she doing for him, basically?
Yeah, there's nothing she's doing for him, so there's no reason for him to protect her, honestly. So Michaela was like,
that's flex of the game, like the challenge, because like if your ally is Fessy, you think, oh, Fessy's one of the big challenges. It's like he can really protect me.
You got to be protected too. It has to be mutual, for real.
Like the challenge vets, like people will protect their layups, like they will.
Yeah,
just because like they're socially cool.
If they know you,
especially they'll be giving a fuck like that.
And you don't know Alyssa like that. Like Alyssa's new. If this was Alyssa's fifth challenge and she was still a layup, he would probably be like, okay, don't put in Alyssa. But not right now. You know, you're new. So Michaela was like, oh, do you think I'd have potential to be nominated? And Fessy was like, look, if we look out for the strong people, they're gonna look out for us. So that's probably what we should do. And Michaela at the room, she's like, you know what? He's actually fucking right. Like, let me just not play myself. Let me let the house vote in the threats, and then I don't have to give blood on my hands. So at this point, they decided that they're going to nominate Alyssa and Chris. So boom, back at the house, Alyssa finds out she's nominated. She's crying to Tyler. I don't give a fuck. Boom. Thoughts?
Let me see. She says in this moment that before coming on the challenge, she put all her stuff in the storage unit. So basically, she really wants to have the money so she can get her a home and also start an animal rescue. But it's just like, girl.
What?
Not you went on a vacation after Big Brother with Kyle, and then came around the challenge. That's what they gave.
But no, they paid for the world. You remember the racists paid for the vacation. The racist people.
Yeah, I was hearing that Alyssa and Kyle stands paid for the vacation,
which would add up considering it would add up because she doesn't have. She couldn't pay for it. Doesn't seem.
like before filming this, like she broke up with, like she was with Kyle like a few months before going into this, and then Kyle and Angela, like their breakup is still kind of recent. So it's just like I wonder how like Kyle and Angela see like watch this shit like Angela got another man already too, so like fuck it.
I think Tyler and Angela has been a little bit more months, but Alyssa was definitely more recent before filming this for sure.
I think Tylissa is cute though. Like Tylissa is cuter than Tyler with Angela. Like literally, this is better than Tyler with Angela and Alyssa with Kyle. 100,000%.
I agree. I like this. This is the cutest couple up. Why are we still talking about them? Next, Chris is sad, and I also don't give a fuck about this. I actually give less fucks
Michelle
about
and Cassidy coming to tell Chris that he's nominated, and he's sitting in the confessional, and basically Michelle says she feels bad because she feels like Chris has had his back up against the wall, which I mean that's not the perception I've seen, but had editing. And then he has another crying moment because, of course, we've talked about it a few times. He feels shafted by the reality TV community because everyone shit talks.
Boo!
He's clearly Chris is very insecure about that. I feel bad because he's like really insecure about that, and like it's crazy because like I mean, it's crazy when you can like be so successful and still be so insecure about other people's words. You know what I mean? Because like you still won Survivor.
You literally won $1 million. You want me to be sad because you won $1 million? I won't.
Like, it's not even that he wants us to be sad for him. Like it's sad that he's sad for himself. Like he literally started crying about it. So it's like it's crazy that that's his motivation. But it's like I said, even if you win the challenge, baby, like you still gotta put yourself on Survivor.
My perception of you being on the Survivor will only change if you come back on Survivor and do well. Do I think you can do well if you come back on Survivor? Barely. You're struggling here. Remember, your back's against the wall.
Well, yeah, this thing. Though, like an elimination going into an arena is basically like getting eliminated or evicted in Big Brother. Like you don't get a chance to fight your way back in. So he's been in like what 2-3 times, like maybe not.
and it's like you're right. He's just sad. Like and they're just showing it on TV. Just so happened, but I just don't care. Boom. Chris, Josh, and Michelle talk. Josh is like, who you want to go against? Chris says, I mean, I might as. And this is the thing. I fuck with Chris. Regardless of all of that, if Survivor, flopping, I genuinely fuck with Chris. He tried to buck up to Monty and Tyler, even though it wasn't cute, but he tried. He's tried to do something. He tried to be snappy last time. He's bringing the drama. And now he's like, look, I might as well go against a motherfucking bet because if I can't beat them in the final, if I can't beat them here, I can't beat them in the final. So I'm just as scared as going against West in the final as y'all are. Might as well go against them now. And I fucking love that. And I think he's a real ass nigga for that. So shout out to Chris for that. So Josh is like, oh my God, do you want to go against West? And Josh has Byron. He's like, targeting West might be my best move because he is going to be my biggest threat in the final. But my ties are more with Johnny. So I want to protect Johnny, but it just sucks because I might be hurting someone that I've become to love as a brother. Talking about West.
Just so emotional.
After that, Tyler and Alyssa kiss. Boom. We go to the vote. During the vote, Cassidy, when she goes to vote, she ends up having a diary room. She says, I know that Michaela, Chanel, and Desi, they got each other back, but I'm just hoping that Survivor is gonna keep have my back. And girl, do they?
At all.
But I like Cassidy, especially in this challenge setting, to be honest.
Josh, he starts crying during the secret votes because he's just so emotional about voting this man out. His gut tells him that West beats him at the end, but he feels so bad targeting someone that he's built a really good friendship with.
I think it's cute that he's emotional. Josh, if you're seeing this, he likes this girl. Well, Josh, look, I think it's cute that you're emotional. Don't let people just dull your shine. However, Wes don't give a fuck about you, baby. Y'all, do y'all know Wes had an interview? In the interview, he said, I don't know why Josh wants to beef with me so bad. I don't give a fuck. He will never be a threat to me. He said this on the show, of course, but he also had another interview after the show saying the same shit. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm never going to see him as a threat. He's never going to be a threat. He's never going to win a final. The producers keep bringing him back, and they don't know why, because the fans don't like him and he can't win challenges. He really dragged the fuck out of Wes, and Josh is in the diary room saying he feels like this is his brother. And this is why when we're talking about Josh and his relationship with the vets, I literally said a few podcasts ago, I was like, it feels like a friend who all they do is talk shit about you, which is not a real friend. Like, it just feels like Wes You're gonna tell me Wes never talked to Johnny Bananas about this? Wes never talked to Johnny Bananas about how Josh can never. I don't think that's true. I think Wes has talked to all these niggas and trash Josh, and they probably don't tell Josh. So you look stupid.
But that's the thing. Like for people like Banana, well, one, Tori's a girl, so it really doesn't affect her what the men do ever usually.
Yeah.
I can see if she was ever paired with Josh, she'd probably get really frustrated, but not necessarily like this where it's individual. And then like Bananas can beat Josh. I feel like his allies, Fessy, Corey, Bananas, like
they're not worried about him.
And that's why Wes is annoyed, because he's probably thinking like, I mean, I can beat you, but so can everybody fucking else here. So why I gotta leave?
It's just random. But okay. So boom, we get to the arena. Wes gets 3 votes, and he knows 2 of them, but not the other one. And Josh is like being so dramatic about it because he gets tired. He's like, I bet Wes knows 2 of the votes, but not the 3rd one, because he doesn't know that I'm the 3rd one. And I just feel so bad. Tyler gets 7 votes, Bananas get 2. For the girls, because it's double elimination, Tori gets 2, Michelle gets 1, Cassie gets 9. And Cassie is heated, yummy, because her survivor alliance turned on her because they think she's weak, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to show them who's weak. So boom, Wes names get pulled, Cassidy names get pulled. You said, okay, girl.
I said, period, girl.
Period, girl. So Cassidy gets called down, and she's like, yeah, TJ, my friends betrayed me, but I'm ready to go back in. And it's like, period.
Yeah, and at first I was like, oh, why is she mad? Because I thought for a minute like it was only survivor options, but then I realized, oh no, they could have voted Tori. And then I was like, well, it makes sense they voted Cassie, because like, I mean, with Alyssa being in the nomination, why the fuck are we sending Tori to easily beat her, and then she come back in, win the next one, and then throw the big 3 in?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I see the logic. I mean, it is what it is. You would, from my knowledge, I mean, it don't seem like Cassie is doing a good job socially, because how you sleep right at Tori and she ain't had your back ever.
Girl, literally. So boom, the challenge is ripped off. Y'all gonna be hanging in between this cylinder, and one person gonna have patches on their body, and the other person has to rip the patches off, and then they're gonna switch. And the person who can rip the most patches off the other person's body is going to win the challenge. So the girls go first. Alyssa versus Cassidy. So first, Alyssa is ripping, and apparently Alyssa has long arms, long legs, long limbs. So everyone's like, use your long arms, girl. Use your long arms, Alyssa. And she was doing good. Honestly, I was
good, because Cassidy was moving, and Alyssa kept getting her ass. Alyssa kept
snatching that ass up.
I'm like, okay, Alyssa, girl.
Yeah. So she ended up getting 8 out of 10, and honestly, I was like, oh, Alyssa got.
She kind of ate that.
I thought she was gonna win, and then Cassie won.
Mm-hmm. Cassie won, but only by 1, 9 out of 10. So I was actually like, I thought when Alyssa ever was gonna go home, it was gonna be a blowout. I did. The fact that it was by 1 patch, like, okay, Alyssa.
Mm-hmm. I see you. You think Alyssa should come back?
I mean, I always think personalities like archetypes like Alyssa should come back on the challenge. Like, it's not fun to see a bunch of people who are like, I wouldn't want to see the Desi's, Michaela's, Tori's, the strongest girl there. Like, I love a more dynamic cast, and I think someone like Alyssa provides that.
Period. So Wes and Chris went, and Wes ripped first. Mm-hmm. So when Wes was ripping, he's like snatching them hoes off. I thought Wes was doing really good. So kind of same thing as last time. I was like, how does Wes? Wes got this. Like, Wes gonna get this.
He got 9 out of 10 by the end. So I was like, literally, Chris had to at least tie it or get 10.
Literally.
Like,
girl.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yep. So Chris goes, and at first, like, Wes is doing a good job. He didn't really get him, but then Wes starts
moving around that. He was moving around that little pole. Like, he could not catch him. And then out of nowhere, like a flying fucking monkey, I guess like Spider-Man, literally, Chris like flies around. Like, he's not even holding on to the thing.
Yeah, he's just flying.
Catapults his body around, latches on to Wes, locks him in with his big beefy thighs, and just starts ripping off all of his patches. Just boom, boom.
He's literally holding on to him. Like, Wes
Wes, that was sending me. Like, by the end, when Chris had him all off, Wes wasn't even trying to move. Like, Wes gave up. Because the way he wrapped himself around this man's body, like, there was no way Wes was moving. Like, I'm sorry, he ate that.
He did eat that up.
He
ate that up real bad.
That was nasty.
And it's Wes. Like, this was a heavy hitter. Yep. This was a heavy hitter. This was a heavy hitter. So boom, Chris wins and Cassidy wins. So TJ he lets everybody know these are the winners. You niggas lost. So everyone goes and hugs, and they're hugging everybody. And while Wes is hugging people, he's like, "Josh, do you know who did it? Do you know who did it?" And Josh like, and Wes was like, "It was you." And Josh was like, "Yes, I'm so sorry." And Wes was like, "Oh, why?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And Wes was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
I just can't beat you. And then he hugged him and he started caressing his head like a baby. He's like, "I'm sorry." It was so dramatic. I was like, "Josh, come like." But this is what pisses me off about Josh, because it's like you do shit like early in the season where you're yelling in people's faces for no reason at all, and like you don't care about like basically that action was just to rile shit up, was just to get people active and get people talking, whatever. But a move like this that could actually strategically, I guess benefit you in some way. Yeah, crying and emotional and all, and this is exactly what he did in Big Brother 19. Remember when he was like, "Paul gotta go," and then when he tried to like literally orchestrate it to happen, he kept getting emotional and sad about it. It's like the things that you can do to like help you in the end, you get pissy upset about it, and it's just like
for bitches who don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, because Paul really didn't give a fuck about him either.
And Wes really don't give a fuck about your ass. And you're crying and sad. You could have been. And this is the thing. This just shows that we was right. This just shows we was right. You could have been targeting these people who don't care about you. You waited until all of the people you could beat in the final, Sebastian, Dusty, you waited for them to be gone. Then you want to start targeting Wes when it doesn't even matter because everyone here can outbeat you. You could have targeted Wes.
Let's go on the list. Bananas, Corey, Fessy, hell, Tyler, Chris. Like even rookies here can probably beat you in the final, Josh. I don't feel confident that he can even beat Tyler and Chris, and that's from their singular performance this season.
Yeah. I thought he could beat maybe Sebastian or Dusty, but he didn't want to beat
Sebastian and Dusty going.
I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, like, I understand the movement of the game. Like, you have actual alliances with these people. It's just, I think that's what happens in the challenge. Like, the people, when you play Big Brother Survivor, they say you have to start setting up your end game and things like that. I think people on the challenge just go in, they wing it, and about halfway through, they start, who do I want to be in this final? And then it's like too late for a lot of them because in the challenge, it's really about physicality. It really is. And I think Josh, of course, he looks great. He looks good. I think his physicality is that of anybody.
That's these people. Yeah. And he knows.
So it's like he really should have been playing ahead, but it's like, I guess you kind of weigh how do you do that when, of course, you're friends with them. You don't want to. Because the thing about the challenge, like, it's not like Big Brother and Survivor. When you vote people out, they can come back. So it's like, I get the fear of, I can't just throw in a Fessy against Monty. And
you can. You will.
You can. But I think you can. You will. But there's a high. Fessy just won 2 eliminations back to back. Tori has proven to be so great. So it's like the possibility of them winning. We've seen it happen a lot. People who went in came back, won, and went against the other person. Because, like I said, the physicality level of it all.
To me, that doesn't, like, I don't know if you got to take yourself outside of it. But for me, that clearly doesn't matter because if they're able to beat you in an elimination, they can beat you in the final. So you're going to
not
lose.
Necessarily though. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
A lot of people can be elimination beast, daily beast, and fly at a final.
But for Josh, that is true. So for Josh,
it's a good indicator, regardless. Though.
It's a good indicator, and for Josh, it's just a fact. Anyone in this house who you think you cannot be at a elimination head to head, you probably can't win a daily against. So you might as well just take the shot. And you're taking the shot at West now. You could have just did it before other people were gone, so you have a potential. Like I don't understand. But
maybe the week when you was trying to get a women's elimination, that could have been a male's elimination. And
I was thinking the fucking same thing. I was thinking the same thing.
West End, baby.
He had a tweet and he was upset because he's like, it seems like y'all are mad at me when I don't come to the bed. You're mad at me when I do come to the bed.
Wait,
like, I'm not mad at this move. It's just everything you do, everything he does is random and misplaced.
Who ended up going in the one time that red team had won? Because he was going off about Chanel not wanting to put it. Was he challenged? Was he wanting the girl to go in that time too? Remember the one time Red Team won and he was yelling at Michelle, Tiffany, and Chanel, and Chanel like, I don't want to do any of the Survivor Girls. He was like, so we can't do any Survivor Girl. I can't remember that round. He was also talking to a girl, but it's like, I mean, that's another time.
Oh, that was the round that he created. No, that was the round before. He was targeting. He wanted to do the Survivor Girls. They didn't want to do it, and then he doubled down and made sure the people who went in
a stalemate to make sure he literally did a full stalemate.
It was for the vets. It was for the vets.
Go in.
Yeah, to make sure the vets don't go.
So it's like, yeah, he did the stalemate, and the vets did the hat thing.
They wanted to put in West. They literally wanted to vote West, and two of the girls voted West, and one of them, Michelle, didn't because Michelle was like, "Oh, West likes me."
All of that to want West out now and get emotional about it. A big brother, a Monty could have still been here. You never really know.
You never really know.
Still be here to help your game, but I mean, Monty probably beat him too. So.
So Wes does this dramatic ass fucking exit that no one gives a fuck about. He's a liar.
He's like, I'm gonna say, I'm not coming back, and it's been a privilege. And TJ, without no care, very monotone. Well, you're an icon, you're a staple, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Yeah,
want to reconsider because I do think I think. People that's big enough 40 to be like potentially the last season on MTV, like I heard it's not all winners now, but like it'd be like the big grand finale. I can imagine if that is the theme that West wouldn't come back for that. I mean, he's saying I guess he may just literally have real world things stopping that, but I mean, girl, I just don't.
Also, who gives a fuck? You're quitting on your 18th challenge. Wow.
And then TJ is so sick because when Wes leaves, he talked to Chris. He's like, I mean, damn. I mean, you sent them into retirement. And it's like, what? Like that was so nasty.
He didn't even have to say that. But no, literally, like, who gives a fuck, babe? Like, Wes, okay, yay. I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to feel? Anyway, it's like CT left and that was it. Like, I don't know. Like, there's people who haven't came back since the last time they played. Like, congratulations. Anyways, girl, that was that. Let's get to the final.
Yeah.
Please.
Cassie, and that's what I said I called the girl out.
Cassie got heated.
She was like, clearly there's a strong girls' lives in this game, and they threw me in because they think I'm weak. And there are people up there who haven't even proven themselves. Adding Michelle, adding Chanel, no shade. Mm-hmm. Michelle. Oh, wait. Was she only adding Chanel? Because
she was adding Chanel. She literally looked back and it was near Chanel. I think she was only adding Chanel.
Because I'm thinking of the girl left. You can't be talking to Tori. You definitely ain't talking to Desi, Michaela, or Michelle. She was talking to Chanel. And that's why Chanel had that confessional. Because at first I was like, Chanel was gagging her. But Chanel had a confession. She was like, baby, if you want to come at me, I'll show you why you're a layup. And it's like, okay, Chanel.
I would like to see it.
I want to see it. No, because Chanel, like I said, I love Chanel.
Rivals.
I love that Chanel's part of the Big Three, baby, but you gotta back it up. You gotta back it up. So I'm excited to see whenever she get the chance to. Because it's definitely gonna happen.
Me too.
Unless she's gonna final flop. Now that would be crazy. Go away from final.
It would. All right, y'all. If y'all like the challenge,
season, so.
If y'all like the challenge, some of these challenge bets are going to be on the traders. We will be covering that later on. Get into the traders. The traders is a cute little game.
Yes, also, it's CT, Trishelle, and Bananas.
Yep, all on.
We'll be covering that early 2024. Watch out.
Boom. So check that out. And get into it because they might be a lot of challengers who end up going on there. Also, we're covering Survivor and we're going to be covering Amazing Race. So check those out. And we're always covering Big Brother on BBTs, Big Brother Tuesday, Big Brother Thursday. So get into that too. Thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom. And bitch, guess what? We out.